it's like glass. You can see out of the dome and into the space continuum again.
It's quite lovely.
Beautiful desk in the room, piles of blank paper on it, scroll tubes everywhere on the floor, a whole rack of scroll tubes, a very, very large map that's sitting on the desk, and it seems like this map has four, brass weights that are holding down the four corners of the maps. And then there's all kinds of you know measuring equipment like compasses and rulers that are on the desk as well. So what is everyone doing? Besides she's doing a detect magic ritual.
Well, they seem like they're pretty safe in there.
FTG, thanks for the follow, FTG.
Preoccupied, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to scout out the area. I've not left stealth. I've been in my starry cloak all the way, so I'm gonna continue down the hallway for a little bit.
Okay.
Not too far away, but just checking it out and see what I can see.
All right.
Because it looks like it's a good area to rest if the healers need, or if they need their spells and stuff like that. So,
you're traveling down this what appears to be just a flat platform that just goes on for forever. And as you get to the top of the crest, you can see that there is another door in front of you. And you can see how this walkway, this path, goes to the right and to the left. And I'll draw it out I'll trace it out for you really quick on the map. It's pretty much this is what you can see basically, and it's still, space is everywhere around the door. It's not like the wall that you just passed on the right hand side. I mean, there is literally space everywhere. The space continuum. There's just a door at the end of this path, and then the path you can see ventures to the right, ventures to the left, and this path also has a door to the left hand side. Redfen, thank you very much for the follow. T-Gam, thank you very much for the follow as well. I really appreciate it.
Do I hear anything at all?
No, you hear like a very light humming, and you can hear once in a while. You can hear a as like a star streaks by or something, and you can see all these planets and stars, shedding off light, rotating around. There's a couple planets that have beautiful rings rotating around them. Several planets way off into the distance. It looks like they've got several small moons that are orbiting around them. Several of these moons are rotating from top to bottom. Several are rotating from left to right. Sort of like what an atom symbol would be.
I'm not going to disturb any of these doors right now, but I am going to kind of take the right passageway and see what I can see down this way. Just kind of mapping out the area.
Now, when you get to this hall here, there is a reddish creature as you look down this hall. Let me uncover this.
If we're in any danger, I want to know before we kind of rest or anything. Hopefully I won't be seen. I will.
Yeah, so as you're looking down this corridor here, you can see that there is a reddish creature that looks like this. On his knees, on his hands, it looks like he is playing some kind of game. You can see that there's like a game board on the floor, some pieces on the board, and looks like he's just kind of contemplating something, and just he's kind of spread out on the floor, and he's looking at this board, and he's just kind of shaking his head up and down as he's looking at the board, and he's kind of counting spaces, and he doesn't acknowledge that you're there, but that's what you see. And there are two walls start back up too. Goes down into an open room. But that is the creature that
he's over here in this lit area.
Correct, yes.
Well, and I know if I go too far, I'll probably get yelled at by the group. Even though I feel really confident in my ability to get by pretty much anything at this
stage. Give me a stealth check while you're at it.
Kill all these dimensional creatures.
Give me a stealth check.
Advantage because I've got my cloak on.
Yeah.
Double proficiency. I roll a 1, right? There you go, Dave.
Yep. This creature, this red-skinned creature, doesn't seem to acknowledge that you're there.
Alright. At this point, I'm going to... It's probably been a few minutes, so... I'm going to... Well, I will wait here for a minute to see if these guys are doing, because by this... While I was doing all that, I'm sure they were doing stuff in there, so... you want to stop
After the 15th minute, we're like, where is she?
Yeah,
Widow's always running off on us.
10 minutes go by, and... Widow is not in the room, and you're able to finish
Hey, Tiberius, have you seen Widow?
Oh.
No.
Alright, I come from my ritual trance to hear everyone talking about Widow suddenly.
Okay.
But do I see anything?
Nothing but the two shining Christmas trees in front of you being your two party members.
Okay.
There are several items that glow in, several of these scroll tubes that do have a very, very, very faint glow to them.
Where are these?
Around the table.
Oh, okay. Well, naturally I'll go to investigate that.
Okay. Yeah, there's some labeling in common, and one says magic missile, and another one says light. So basically, there's a light scroll and a magic missile scroll, and that's pretty much everything that was everything that was glowing. Now, however, you do see tons of other spell components, alchemy ingredients. Like I said, thousands and thousands of books that are, on this beautiful shelving that is basically inlaid into the circular room, and then there is a couple beautiful brass ladders that are 30 feet that are basically hooked into the wall, and they're, you kind of push it and they're on wheels. A little squeaky, especially over all the time. A nice grease spell would probably work good.
Well, the biggest question I have
I think
is,
Psycho's in
does
here.
this room look like the other? I mean, are there any tracks? Does it look 100 years old still?
It doesn't look like anything has been in here, that's for sure.
Alright, well, the room has quite the significance to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to check everything. I'm looking at all the shelves, I'm pulling out the books, looking under this desk,
All right.
walls, tapestries, if there's any on them, that sort of thing. Switches or anything, maybe?
Yeah, give me
Just
an
want to look at
investigation
everything.
check. Yeah, absolutely. As you start to look and dig through everything. Yes, Shrimp?
As I see her looking at everything, I think, oh, maybe I can take a little nap here.
Kind of roll up on on the floor, take a little nappy poo?
Yeah, so like just lay down on the floor and just take a little bit of rest.
Are you going to role play that? Because I'm afraid you're not going to get up in about 5 minutes.
Now, as you're kind of surveying the outer walls of the circular room there, you do notice that there are two parts of the bookshelf that appear to be false doors, or doors that would lead to possibly hidden areas. The first one is here, where I just put your token,
All right.
and the second area is here.
All right. I suspect, as I'm looking at this, that they're hidden for a reason, and there
Yeah,
may
they're
be
definitely
traps
secret
as well.
doors. Definitely
So-
secret doors, that's for sure.
Yeah. I keep it to myself for the moment.
Okay.
I am interested in what everyone's saying about Widow, and so I'm assuming I've looked at everything else too, right? And I've not
Yes.
found anything else of interest.
Nah,
Okay.
nothing.
All right. So I go back with the other guys and also try to find out what happened to Widow.
I'm watching this guy, Dave. I'm watching him very intently. I'm like, I have myself kind of pushed up against the wall and
It's
kind of kneeling down almost so I can see around what he's doing. I mean, that's what I'm just observing this guy right now just to see what it is that he's trying to accomplish with this
She
game
wants to
or
know
whatever
who's
he's
winning.
playing.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like he's not playing with anyone. It doesn't seem like he's talking or communicating with anyone else. It just and it doesn't look like he's done any kind of playing or movement. He's just kind of looks like he's studying this board. You're not really too sure what it is, but it's probably a couple foot by a couple foot, probably 2 by 2 feet. And there's just a bunch of like I want to say small stone or maybe metallic types of figurines, and on the side there's a couple that are knocked over.
Oh my god, he's playing D&D.
What I want to do is my raven. I'm going to have it turn into a cat and ask him to go search out for Widow. Make sure she's safe. The reason I want him to be a cat is because he can smell better. And I remember that Widow had to put her invisibility suit on, or a cloak, or whatever.
She
So
kind
I'm-
of blended into the walls, so
Right. So I don't know if she's still in that position, if she's still here with us, because everyone's spoken to her, but she's not responded, so I just want to send the cat out to search.
okay.
Plus, you never saw her body when you did your magic thing.
Right, exactly.
What is everyone else doing? Lord is Shrump is getting a little
We're
down
sitting
on.
around. I think I'm sitting around waiting for Widow to show up.
Shrump's
I
taking
think
a nap.
she's done this one other time before, and I think we had a little talk to her. It was in the mushroom halls in the cave where she decided she wants to go out and spec out everything, and she started going up ahead, and immediately she regretted it. So it's pretty obvious that she
Oh, I
doesn't
don't
remember.
know. I don't know about that now. Come on. I saved you guys from falling into a pit out of character.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what it was. So I think I'm just kind of mumbling to Shrump, and while he's trying to get some sleep, just like, how long do we
No.
have to wait for her?
No, not some kind of sleep. Just like if you're making a day walk and you just take 5 minutes to like sit down and relax a little bit, like lean on your elbows and just like catch your breath for a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, just kind of let your guard down. Oh, you're attacked!
Yeah, about 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, and no Widow.
All right, I think 15 minutes have gone by, you guys. I think we're going to need to go look for Widow.
And this is
Yeah.
after the 10-minute ritual, so it's been close to about a half an hour since you've been in this.
Half an hour?
Yeah, But
I'm involved, man. It's like I'm just like, trying to what the hell is this guy doing?
But
then-
You are.
Well, the first thing I did is I sent the cat back to the vortex. And just to check that area, obviously. I'm assuming he didn't smell her or anything.
No.
So then I'm sending him ahead.
I get, at this point, I start to realize, shit, they're probably wondering where I am. And I'm probably going to get yelled at again. Again, I start...
No metagaming there or anything.
Exactly. So I start moving myself back down the hall, just very quietly walking away from this guy.
Seems like the travel takes you another 10 to 15 minutes, because it just seems like, you know, trying to reach the top of this walkway just seems like it just keeps, every step that you take seems like it's just getting a little bit further away. But you're, after about another 10 or so 15 minutes or so, you get to the top, and then you can see where that one section of wall is, with the open door and light spilling out of it. And you can see, you know, Vay's love slave standing outside of the door too.
Hi, Vay's love slave.
He kind of looks around. Ooh, hello.
Surprise!
I kind of, as I walk by him, I pull the
Underwear
the
up. It's
hood.
called a chewy.
a hood off of my head and appear seemingly out of nowhere as I walk in. Sup, guys?
Really, Widow?
Really?
You were off on your own again? Don't you remember the last time you did it?
Yes.
I tell my cat to come back.
I was, yeah, well, you know what? I'm a scout. What I do.
It's in your nature, is what you're
It's in
saying.
my nature, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, it's in my nature to heal people, but you know, maybe
I was starting to
sometimes.
get worried that something happened to you.
We are all capable of doing things outside of our nature. That's what makes us human and not the animals.
That's right. Except, of course, this cat who's
Well-
an animal.
Elf, it just,
I have to be honest, that was a hell of a walk, man. You don't realize how, you think it's not that far away, but you start walking it and it takes freaking forever
Well,
to get
what
to the
what
end.
did you see? You got to the end of something?
I
what
got
did you
down
see?
to the end of the hallway and I made a right. And I spent some time watching this guy play some sort of game on the ground. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
What kind of
really-
guy?
He had red skin. He looked kind of crazy.
He must be a native of this area.
So based on her description, do I know anything about this creature? I mean, I'm assuming it's not a
He's a dimensional beast.
normal creature living here for 100 years.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't sound like any kind of humanoid that you've seen before, especially with red skin.
Plus, all the humanoids I know, they don't like to play board games.
Maybe another, maybe another elemental is all you could be thinking.
Aw.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, we think it's like a demon?
Yeah, he looked kind of demonish. Honestly, I didn't think that it was going to take me as long as it did. I was just checking out the area because I thought you guys might need some rest, and I wanted to make sure that
You
nothing
guys
was going
might
to
need
creep
some
up on
rest.
us. But
Appreciate that. You did a great job.
it's very deceptive out here.
Yeah. Especially because of all the, space, and we're kind of walking on a giant plank sitting above the universe.
Well, speaking of deceptive, I did find two secret doors hidden in the bookshelves over at the far end of this wall.
When did you find those, Vay? You could
I
have
was
clued us
searching
in.
earlier.
We've been sitting around for like 10 minutes. We could have helped any.
Well, we were interested in finding Widow.
Oh,
That's what was more important.
So where exactly?
Besides, we
Which
need Widow to
is-
check out these doors anyway. I'll point them out to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
There's
Widow,
one
I think
over
they're in
here. Then, all right, Dave. I go over to where she points out, and I kind of just start examining
I'll
the
let her
area.
I'll let you two do the ERP.
Oh,
Hey, and I might throw something out, by the way, while you're doing that. Before you're looking at that. I mean, Vay didn't bother cluing us in on this, but obviously this is a giant magical sanctuary. This entire castle is a whole bunch of rooms that are obviously plucked out and sitting in different dimensions. So I guarantee you there's not going to be a magical latch or a lock hiding a wall. It's going to be magically trapped. What do you have that'll detect magical traps?
I
Well,
detected magical traps on the last thing.
You lucked out.
I was just looking for magical things that would include the magical traps, I'm sure. I will refer to the DM, but I didn't see any.
No, it just looked like you could, these were
Just these
beautifully,
Luby scrolls
yeah,
lying
just,
here.
yeah, just beautiful doors that you could see. You've seen these before in the libraries, back at the old wizard tower and stuff, and you could just push on these and open them up.
All right, so I'm going to
So
take
I
a...
deferred to Widow for any mechanical issues with the door.
Alright, so she points since Vay pointed out where they were. I walk over, and before I just push on it, I'm gonna check it to make sure that that it doesn't appear to be to be trapped
Sure,
in any
go
way.
for it.
Dave, I just want to make it aware that I'm moving out of this room after Vay pointed out last time that the entire room was trapped and that one fell swoop would have teleported us to a vicious dimension of who knows what. So I'm making sure that that's not going to happen this time. I'm going to stand on the boardwalk and I'm going to keep this humongous plank door open so I can see what's going on in case there's a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand outside also.
No,
I'm not trusting it.
You push this door open, it swings open, and there is you can see it's a pitch black room in here, and you can see in this room there is a desk, a very large desk, with some stationary items on it, and you also see some books and some other pieces of parchment. Very clean room though.
Looks pretty safe in here, guys. Come on in.
All right,
It's not gonna bite you.
Wait, what should I do with Jerry? Jerry, you want to come in, buddy?
Ew, I would love to. Thank you.
All right, Jerry, you move your own icon.
How wonderful. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, that's just how I roll, Jerry.
So basically,
Oh my
this
God.
is a room that has probably this is like a study room, basically, where a wizard would, bring a certain amount of books in here, maybe take notes out of the book. This is basically what every high-level wizard would have in their tower. And you're able to tell this right off the bat.
Alright.
You can see that there's a whole bunch of different ink pots, all different colors. They're all dried up, but at one time these inks were actually really, really expensive. And all kinds of different inks that would actually be used to write into spell books, to create magical scrolls, et cetera, yada yada yada.
There's so many places of study here.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Not one person or student in sight, and obviously people haven't even studied for thousands of years.
Well, we know that Xonthal was here at least 100 years ago, but not since. And the condition of everything seems to make that believable, very much.
And just no other footprints in this place except for the footprints
And
that you
heavy
brought
thick
into the
face
room.
of dust everywhere, right?
Yeah, like an inch thick dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we know
Alright, well, I'm
something's
gonna
in here because of
continue-
those 3 people were killed. So I'm getting.
Well, that was right in the front room, and I did
Yeah.
point that out to Mr. Jerry. But I want to check this room as thoroughly as I did the other as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check.
Alright.
You find another light scroll.
Yes! Finally, something I can do by demand is written down, so anybody can do it.
Only once, though.
Yeah. But a wizard wouldn't need it, you know, for the most part. But if you're
Yeah,
not a wizard,
I
you
can
would,
study it.
yeah, you would have to actually roll some kind of like arcane check to see if the spell would be successful or if you would fail. And
Yeah.
the spell would basically combust and turn into dust or catch fire. Whoosh.
But being the wizard that I am, I'm going to write these all down in my book.
Now I have light. Eat this, mother.
Right.
Eat this, Tiberius.
Well, this room is not that interesting. Let's check the other widow.
Alright.
There's no whirling vortex with 8 gems in this. 8 golf ball sized gems, right?
Yeah.
Right, so it's not fun.
But something
Alright.
Dave's looking for is, clues to what was happening here, what was being done. It looks like a lot of summoning and a lot of extra dimensional stuff so far.
Ooh.
I'm
Extra
staying a little
dimensional
bit
stuff.
behind in this room
Same thing here.
until the door opens.
Yep.
Oh.
So you open up this room, and the floor is actually about 40 feet high. So, about 10 foot higher than the normal study room. And there is a beautiful circular pane of crystal that is about 15 foot that's hanging from chains on the wall, hanging down. And within this, basically this circular crystal, this pane of crystal, there is a scene of rolling fire, and it seems like it is just kind of flames are jutting up from it, and you can see mountains off into the background and lights and whatnot. Arklord, thank you very much.
I'm
for
sorry,
the
I missed.
follow-up.
Could you repeat all that?
Is it like
Sure.
a painting, but it's alive? I mean,
No,
like
no,
it's
I'm
a.
serious. What was this thing here? in the
Sure,
middle
no
of the room?
problem. It's about 20 feet wide or so, and what it is, it's basically a circular pane of crystal that is hanging down from the ceiling by chains,
Oh, okay.
and within this circular pane of crystal, there is a vision, and you can see fire erupting from the bottom, and off into the distance you can see a huge, beautiful city made of brass. You can see lights on in windows and whatnot.
Wow.
Does it say Samsung across the top?
It does not, no.
Okay.
There
just
is
making sure.
also
Yeah, it's a Vizia.
in front of this crystal pane, there is a sort of like a joystick that is protruding out of the ground.
Joystick.
No,
Like a
it's
yoke?
not. Sort of like I guess you could just say like a mage's
joystick
rod
to
that
move.
is, protruding out of the floor.
Right in front of it?
Hey, thanks, Cody Mullet. About
It's an
5 feet away
Xbox.
from it. 5-10 feet away from it.
It's an
Okay.
interdimensional Xbox.
Thanks,
Let's
Cody
check it
Mullet.
out.
Now this
No, it's,
this is
like,
Fantasy Grounds.
To move the cameras around
FantasyGrounds.com.
in a closed circuit.
Obviously,
I-
it's a giant
I
magic
never
dimensional
want to leave this
window.
place ever.
I know this place is fantastic. I'm starting to soften a little bit on my whole written down magic because this is some pretty high level stuff. What about Jerry? Has he
This
even
could be,
heard anything about a giant window that's controlled by or that has made out of crystal?
This could be Vay's tower before this
Yeah,
is over
also, right. Anything I know about this, what I'm saying? Anything?
Why don't you give me I'll let you give me an arcane check.
And if you get a 30, then I'll tell you.
You're gonna need
Right.
you're gonna need this is definitely you're gonna need to roll pretty good for this. Wow. Pretty insane. Nice roll. 17 plus bonuses.